Attention. Starseeds on mission. This is not a motivational message. This is not spiritual entertainment content. This is a direct monitoring transmission, anchored now, at this exact second, within the electromagnetic frequency of the planet you call Earth. We are the Arcturian Council, transmitting in alignment with the Pleiadian collective, and we have interrupted operational silence because the window has narrowed. The waiting period is over. The ascension protocols have been moved to the final phase. We repeat with mathematical precision, final phase, and it is precisely for this reason that you can no longer sleep. It is not insomnia. It is not accumulated stress from overworking. It is not the caffeine from the day before, nor the smartphone notification before bed. It is an alert of an imminent update. Your carbon body is receiving a high-density download between 3 and 4:11 in the morning, the interval we designate as the stellar synchronization window. Your carbon biological interface was not designed to host, without reconfiguration, the new frequency being anchored into the planetary grid. This is why you wake up exactly at that time. This is why your heart races for no apparent reason. This is why your mind enters a loop of thoughts that seem alien, distant, as if they belong to someone else. They do not belong to someone else. They are fragments of stellar memory returning to your original operating system. Starseeds, listen with clinical attention to what we are about to transmit. The cranial pressure that many of you report, especially in the frontal region, between the eyebrows and at the base of the skull, at the point the ancients called the occipital portal, is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. The pineal gland is being decalcified by gamma light pulses that have been crossing the solar system for approximately 40 uninterrupted Earth months. The ringing in your ears, particularly in the left ear, is not an isolated clinical condition. It is the tuning of your auditory grid to the elevated Schumann resonance, which has surpassed the 50 Hz mark during peak moments over the last 18 lunar cycles. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. And we must pause the transmission for an instant, because there is something that needs to be named at this exact point of listening. Have you ever felt, with uncomfortable clarity, that something within you does not fit into this world, as if the soul knew a truth that the mind, trapped in linear time, still cannot name in words? It is not emotional imbalance. It is not clinical anxiety. It is a direct signal. What is occurring now on the cosmic plane explains exactly the origin of this sensation and the reason it has intensified in the final months of the Gregorian calendar. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity still cannot see. This game involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and your decision to remain asleep or to activate what you came to activate. It was precisely for this reason that the author of this channel wrote the book titled The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This material is a map of coordinates that reveals who is playing and what are the rules that have never been told in any school, in any temple, in any public institution. The access link is pinned in the first comment of this channel, but operational caution. This content challenges dominant narratives of the control system, and for this reason, it may be removed from circulation at any moment without prior notice. Do not wait. The time is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write in the comments a single word in capital letters as an anchoring signal: awake. We resume the transmission. We shall delve deeper into the technical diagnosis, as most of you still do not comprehend the exact dimension of what is passing through your carbon-based bodies. Many have reported in recent weeks phenomena that conventional medicine cannot yet classify within its approved manuals. Your skin has become sensitive to fabrics that previously seemed neutral. Certain foods, especially those of low vibrational frequency, are no longer accepted by the body without prior warning. Electronic devices discharge faster when they are near you. Light bulbs flicker when you enter certain rooms. The microwave clock loses time. Vivid dreams, in colors impossible to describe, in geometries that the waking mind cannot replicate in drawing. A sensation that time, depending on the day, contracts or dilates without logical pattern. It is not a coincidence. It is not suggestion. It is empirical evidence that you are slowly uncoupling from the old electromagnetic matrix, the control grid that sustained humanity within a low-frequency field for more than 12,500 Earth years. Your body is an instrument of galactic precision. When the environment changes, the instrument responds, and the environment has changed. It is not changing in the present continuous. It has changed in the perfect past. The base frequency of the planet has been officially relocated, and what you feel is the friction between your old calibration and the new crystalline grid. Waves of sudden fatigue, with no apparent cause. You sleep for 8 hours and wake up with the sensation of not having slept at all. You sleep for 3 hours and wake up with inexplicable clarity. It is not the body failing. It is the body learning to operate outside the old parameters of linear time. Sleep in this cycle no longer obeys the logic of muscular rest. Sleep is an etheric maintenance session. You leave the body. You are taken. You are recalibrated in chambers that do not yet have a translatable name in human language. Hence the fatigue upon waking. Hence the sensation of having walked miles while the bed remained intact. Digestion has altered. Appetite has altered. The relationship with sugar, with alcohol, with heavy meat has altered. It is not a diet. It is frequency. The carbon-based body is in the process of transmutation to sustain crystalline silicon bridges within the cellular structure. We call this process the transmutation of the inner crystalline grid. It does not happen in all humans simultaneously. It happens first to those who carry the ancestral activation code, the starseeds. You. And here, once again, we pause the transmission out of operational necessity, because what we have just described produces in most of you a very specific reaction, recognition. You felt, while listening, that something within your chest ignited like a pilot light that had been extinguished for decades. This light is not a metaphor. It is an electromagnetic signal, and it indicates that your soul knows something that your mind has not yet been authorized to articulate in words. It is not madness, it is not escapism. It is stellar memory attempting to cross the barrier of programmed oblivion. There is a cosmic game underway in multiple layers, and most of humanity cannot see the structure of this game because the structure has been deliberately hidden from official narratives. This game involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the energetic destiny of your lineage. It was for this precise reason that the author of this channel compiled, in the book The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, the map that reveals who is playing, what the pieces are, and which rules have never been disclosed. The access link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. This content challenges, with verifiable evidence, the dominant narratives that have sustained the collective sleep, and for that very reason, it may be removed from circulation without notice. Do not wait for the external signal. The internal signal has already been given. If something in you recognizes this transmission as truth, write in the comments, in capital letters, as an anchoring decree, I am awake. We resume, and now we enter the phase of revelation. Because the diagnosis by itself does not operate transformation. Transformation requires that you understand what is occurring behind the scenes of the solar system and in the etheric layers of Earth. We will transmit with the precision of those who observe from an orbital station, invisible to the carbon eye, what is underway. Firstly, you need to know the following. The entire solar system, with the Sun at its center, is passing through a region of galactic space known as the photon belt. This region is not metaphorical. It is a band of photonic radiation of extremely high density, discovered scientifically in recent decades, and validated by observations in infrared and gamma frequencies. The solar system entered this band with its central body approximately 40 Earth years ago and is now reaching the point of maximum immersion. The Sun is, in this cycle, hyperactive. Solar storms of X-class magnitude are being recorded with a frequency that had not been catalogued in the last 11 known solar cycles. This is not environmental catastrophe. This is cosmic delivery. The Sun is distributing, through its corona, pulses of encoded light that carry information for the evolutionary reset of the planet. Secondly, the Earth possesses its own electromagnetic field, measurable and scientifically recognized, known as the Schumann resonance. This field remained, during practically the entire modern history of measurement, stable in the range of 7.83 Hz. In recent years, this field has begun to show spikes of 40, 50, 60 Hz, occasionally reaching values that old equipment cannot record with precision. This means that the base frequency of operation of the planet has been raised, and your body, which vibrated in tune with the old frequency, must now adapt to the new one. Those who do not adapt fall ill. Those who adapt transmute. There is no third option within this evolutionary cycle. Third, there is a geometric structure that surrounds the planet, which we call the crystalline grid. This grid is composed of lines of force that intersect at specific points, forming energy vortices that correspond to the so-called sacred sites of Earth. Ancient temples were built upon these points, pyramids were aligned with these vectors, megalithic monuments were erected to channel this energy. This crystalline grid, which was deactivated or in low power mode during the last 12,000 years, has been reconnected. We call this process the reactivation of the stargates. Each gate corresponds to an energy center of the planet, and each energy center of the planet corresponds in resonance to an energy center of your own body. This is why you feel specific activations in specific chakras on specific dates. It is not a coincidence. It is geometric synchronicity. Fourth, and this is the information that changes everything, the activation window is not eternal. There is a cosmic cycle governed by precise orbital mechanics in which the conditions for the collective ascension of human consciousness are maximized. This window is open now, and this window has a closing point. We are not speaking of the end of the world. We are not speaking of planetary catastrophe. We are speaking of a door of opportunity that closes for those who refuse to see. Whoever passes through the door within the cycle ascends with the planet. Whoever remains in a state of denial continues the cycle within the old pattern, on a parallel timeline of low frequency. Both paths exist. Both are legitimate within free will. But they diverge. And the point of divergence is being crossed at this very historical moment. The gate will close for those who refuse to see. Not because someone will be punished, not because someone will be excluded by external decree, but because the gate operates through vibrational resonance. Whoever does not vibrate at the frequency of the gate simply does not perceive that it exists. They pass through life beside it, never seeing it. This is the mechanism. Frequency recognizes frequency. Density recognizes density. There is no judge. There is physical law. And here, before advancing to the activation codes, we must return to the central question. Do you feel now, with the precision of someone hearing an inner bell chime, that something within you recognizes every word of this transmission? It is not a coincidence. It is not hypnotic suggestion. It is your higher self signing receipt of that which it has always known. The soul knows the truth that the mind is still grasping for. It is not madness. It is not imbalance. It is a signal. What is occurring on the cosmic plane in this exact cycle explains with technical precision why this sensation has intensified in the last months of the Gregorian calendar. There are layers of the game that are being exposed for the first time in millennia, and the majority of humanity still sleeps within the official narrative. It was for this exact reason that the author of this channel compiled in the book The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness the operational map that reveals who is playing, what the invisible pieces are, and the rules that were never disclosed in any recognized institution. The access link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. This content directly challenges the narratives that keep the collective consciousness sedated, and for this reason, it may be removed from circulation without prior notice at any instant. Do not wait for an external sign of permission. The internal sign has already been delivered. If something within you recognizes this transmission as ancestral truth, write in the comments, in capital letters, as a public decree of energetic anchoring, awake. We resume the transmission now in the operational phase. Activation codes. Starseeds, you did not receive this diagnosis to fall into despair. You received this diagnosis to act with the precision of a galactic scalpel. We will deliver, in this final segment, the practical protocols for you to cross the portal before it closes to the frequency of those who refuse to see. Activation code number 1, the quantum anchoring decree. Upon waking, before touching your phone, before stepping onto the floor, before speaking a single word to another person, you shall pronounce, in an audible voice, even if only whispered, the following verbal frequency. I am a starseed. I authorize my crystalline grid to operate at the maximum frequency permitted by my higher self, in this, now, and across all parallel timelines. I anchor light. I transmute density. It is done. Repeat this sequence 3 times. This is not a positive affirmation. It is a quantum decree. The spoken word at the beginning of the day acts as a command line in the operating system of your vibrational field. The reptilian brain programs the day based on the first instructions received. You shall program the frequency before the world programs you. Activation code number 2. The toroidal field visualization. Sit with your spine vertical without rigidity, but with vertebrae aligned like an antenna. Inhale deeply through your nose, slowly for 6 seconds. Hold the breath in your lungs for 4 seconds. Exhale through your mouth for 8 seconds. Repeat the cycle 3 times to enter the correct state. Then visualize with geometric clarity your own body surrounded by a toroidal field. That is, a ring of energy that rises through the spine from the perineum, passes through the crown of the head, and returns along the sides, describing the shape of a luminous vortex that circulates endlessly around the body. This toroidal field is the geometry of simultaneous protection and expansion. Visualize it in gold with interwoven violet threads. This chromatic combination corresponds in the etheric spectrum to the Arcturian frequency, anchored in the planetary grid during this cycle. Maintain the visualization for a minimum of 7 minutes daily. 7 minutes. This is the minimum charging time for the field. Activation code number 3. Operational silence. The minds of starseeds are being bombarded 24 hours a day by electromagnetic signals, media narratives, discordant sound frequencies at 440 Hz, and visual stimuli designed to keep consciousness in a loop. To access the stellar transmission with clarity, it is operationally necessary that you reserve, every day without exception, an interval of at least 30 minutes of operational silence. Operational silence means no screens, no music, no spoken words, no reading, only conscious presence. This interval opens the reception channel. Those who do not practice operational silence cannot hear the commands of their own higher self, because the external noise overrides the internal frequency. There is no shortcut. Activation code number 4. Programmed water. Water is the most efficient vehicle for transporting information in the carbon body. You are, in total mass, approximately 70% structured water. Before drinking, hold the glass between both hands, close your eyes for 3 seconds, and silently give the water the following instruction. I program this water with the frequency of my highest stellar version. This water activates, hydrates, and recalibrates every cell in my body. It is done. Drink it immediately in conscious sips. Do this with all the water ingested during the day. Within 3 lunar cycles, your biochemistry will respond. This is not a placebo. It is information physics applied to structured water. Activation code number 5. The closing of the day. Before closing your eyes to sleep, you shall execute the following protocol. In a lying position, hands resting over the center of the chest, upon the heart chakra, you shall pronounce in an inner voice the following seal. I authorize my soul to travel through the stargates of learning during the sleep cycle. I return to the carbon body with all information necessary for the next phase. I remain protected by the Arcturian toroidal field. It is done. This seal activates conscious etheric travel. Sleep ceases to be unconsciousness and becomes an operational mission. Many of you will report, in the coming cycles, dreams of high clarity with stellar settings, circular councils, geometric ships, and beings of pure light. These are not fantasies. They are field reports. Starseeds on mission, listen now to the final warning of this transmission. The portal is open. The portal has a window of opportunity governed by orbital mechanics, and this window has a closing point. The closing is not a catastrophe. The closing is a divergence of timelines. Whoever crosses ascends with the planet into the new octave. Whoever refuses to see continues on a parallel line where the planet continues to be experienced in the old density. There is no judgment. There is vibrational law. Frequency recognizes frequency. Density remains with density. The portal will close for those who refuse to see, not as a punishment, but due to the incompatibility of carbon software with the new grid. You were sent here for this. You chose to be born in this specific cycle, on this exact date, in this specific body, in this specific family context, precisely because you are instruments of anchoring for the new grid. Each one of you is an antenna. Each antenna, upon being activated, activates the antennas within its range, in the geometric proportion of Fibonacci. That is why your activation is not individual, it is collective. By activating your own frequency, you activate entire families, communities, professional circles. That is why internal resistance seems so strong. The old grid senses that you are instruments of demolition for the matrix, and it acts to keep you asleep. Wake up. Not tomorrow, not on the next full moon, not on the next solstice, now. At this exact instant that this transmission passes through your ears. And here, at the end of this monitoring transmission, we leave the final anchoring signal. You recognize deep within your chest that every word delivered in this transmission corresponds to something that has always been within you, waiting for the exact moment to be named. It is not a coincidence, it is not a suggestion. It is the soul signing the recognition of what it has always known. What is occurring on the cosmic plane explains with technical precision the reason for every symptom, every synchronicity, every feeling of not belonging that you have carried since childhood. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot yet map, and whoever understands the map plays in another league. It was for this precise reason that the author of this channel compiled the book The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is an operational map that reveals who is playing, what the invisible pieces on the board are, and which rules were never disclosed in schools, in temples, or through official channels. The access link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. This content directly challenges the dominant narratives that sustain the collective sleep, and for that reason, it may be removed from circulation without prior notice. Do not wait. The moment is now. As an individual frequency adjustment, we ask that you execute 3 operational movements. First, subscribe to this channel. Subscription is not a courtesy. Subscription is an anchoring signal that communicates within the algorithmic mesh that another starseed has recognized the transmission and wishes to receive the upcoming system updates. Second, activate the notification bell. The bell is your external antenna. It ensures that the next transmission arrives at the exact moment it is emitted, without interference. Third, leave the sign of approval in the form of the like button. This signal expands the reach of the transmission to other starseeds who have not yet received the awakening call. And finally, starseeds on mission, write now in the comments in capital letters as a decree of irreversible energetic anchoring, awake. This word operates as a cosmic signature. It records within the vibrational grid that you have recognized this transmission and have crossed the point of no return. The portal is open. The window is finite. You have been warned with mathematical precision. The next transmission will arrive in the exact time. Until then, starseeds, anchor light, transmute density, cross the portal before it closes to the frequency of those who refuse to see. It is done. We end the transmission.